Welcome back to another episode of John, your daily sports sim, where we plunge into the sports world. We're a sports pipeline for breaking news, game recaps, and the hottest takes in the sports industry. So I take care of business, let us fuss out the details, and fill you in on what's happening. So take a seat, get comfortable, and make sure you have plenty of TP. It's time to explode the commode. I'm your host, John, and today we're joined by Illinois native, former Bradley Brave, and now Cincinnati infielder Jackson Smith. After hitting over 300 at his freshman year at Bradley, Jackson made the jump to a Power 4 school in Cincinnati. Jackson has made some noise early on in the season so far, along with Cincinnati notably beating top 10 Auburn at Auburn this year. We'll talk about growing up in Illinois, starting his college career at Bradley, and now he's at Cincinnati. Jackson, thank you for taking time during the season to
Yeah.
hop on.
No, thank you, bro. I mean, I feel like this is long awaited and should have been happening when I was at Bradley, but now we're finally getting it done, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I wanted to give you some grace. I wanted to make sure you had your hair grown out.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that would have been brutal if they could have seen the widow's peak during this.
Exactly.
So yeah, thank God for that.
So obviously you're an Illinois guy. And I was telling you earlier, I interviewed AJ Garcia, he's from the Chicago suburbs. You're from a
Yeah,
little farther out, but still the Chicago suburbs.
yeah, same area. Yeah.
What did growing up in Illinois and the baseball kind of uh be like? And then when was that realization where when you're like, okay, I could be a Division I level shortstop.
Yeah, no, so I feel like Illinois, especially the area, the Chicagoland area is like one of the better areas in the Midwest, to be honest, for baseball. And I kind of realized like I found out like out in like Division I readies when I found out a whole bunch of guys around me like they're coming into bigger schools and I'm like, damn, I'm just as good as these guys. Like I feel like I'm right there with them. And I'd never panicked or pressed like any panic button about like not committing early because I committed my junior summer and it was a little later than normal because when I was growing up, you could commit when you were in eighth grade, you know what I mean? Like there was no rules or anything with it. So a lot of guys were committed early. And I was just like, my time will come and whoever comes and finds me will respect that because they're gonna have a good player. So and then it was I was in Iowa playing in a tournament, I think last fall ball tournament of the year or something like that. And I get a text from the Bradley pitching coach, Coach Doves. And he was like, "Hey, just saw you played, had a great game, and stuff like that." And I was like, "Finally, bro, D1 finally reaching out." I'm so excited. And then I ended up texting back with him, got on a phone call with him. Everything went good from there. And then yeah, I committed to Bradley that following spring. So
Totally.
it was awesome.
Was Bradley right? You were seeing now, obviously, we're heating up in college basketball, and
Yeah,
one
you
of the
guys
big
are.
stories is Keaton Wagler, who was a dude who only had two. I mean, they make it seem like he only had two D1 offers. He had two
Yeah.
Power 4 offers and a bunch of like
Yeah.
mid majors. Was Bradley the only really D1 school calling you, or
Yeah,
were
dude.
there multiple?
There was a few other schools in the valley that like reached out but
Okay.
never really gave the offer. And then when Bradley did, they stuck with me and trusted me. So then they ended up offering me after a few phone calls or whatever it was. So yeah.
Totally. And then obviously at Providence, you were a second baseman, shortstop, right? You've kind of your whole career, high school and college, you've kind of gone back and forth between both.
Yeah.
Now, obviously at Cincy, they're starting second baseman. What's the different mindset like at second base and shortstop? Obviously, it's a huge, I mean,
Yeah,
gap with
no.
fielding and all that.
Yeah, people like say it's very similar, but I don't really think it is at all. Shortstop's the longer throw. I've played second base growing up like longer, so I feel like it's easier for me to play that position. And at shortstop, it's just I feel like you have to move your feet a lot more. It's a lot more tasking on the body. When I'm at second, I'm like not saying I'm not thinking about defense, but I'm more like offensive minded. Like I feel better when I'm at second, to be honest. So
Okay, I
that's
got
what yeah, I mean, yeah, that's all I got.
totally. And then in high school, some of your coaches have talked about, and even right, I got to know you more.
Yeah,
You're known as like an even keeled, sort of laid back guy, and right, obviously baseball is a game of struggle. You're gonna go through slumps
yeah,
and stuff.
for
So
sure.
how do you stay with such a chill kind of not laid back, because obviously you care.
Yeah, no,
But how do you stay
obviously,
that mindset like that?
yeah. I mean, I say this all the time in baseball, like you're gonna fail more than you're gonna succeed. Everyone does. It's just part of the game. And from what I try to do, like I don't try to ignore the negatives. I just try to like almost learn from them. Like if negatives happen, I won't be like, damn, like I need to start like, oh my God, like what's going on? I'm just kind of like, okay, I messed up there. Like, what do I need to do to not mess up again, almost, and just make it simple as possible when I mess up. And then also going along when I'm doing good, I try not to get too high with it because, when you're not in that even kill, if you're too high or too low, either way, it's not good. I feel like, yeah, you could feel on top of the world going 10 for 10 one day and then or one week, I mean, and then next at bat comes up and you look like you never touched a baseball before. So it's just you gotta ride it because there's no other way to do it, I think.
Totally. And obviously, right, I played baseball in Illinois. What is an Illinois like quote unquote Illinois like baseball trait you would say that you kind of carry with, right? Illinois is known for having some very rough beginning to high school baseball season. So
Yes,
what is
that
something that you were able to gain from while you were here at Bradley and in high school that you that carry now in the
yeah,
Big
no,
12?
so it's very cold in Illinois during the first few games or weeks for high school ball. Also very windy too, so like, I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I could barely hit the ball out when the wind's blowing out. So when the wind's blowing in, I got to really make sure my balls are like on lines, not getting too long with my swing, getting dippy, stuff like that, because if I get on first base, it's gonna be a problem for the other team, and I know that the other team knows that, and if I get on first, just watch out. So yeah,
Totally.
that's all my mindset when I'm hitting.
And then obviously, right now we're going to kind of bring it back to Bradley, one of the thing that brought us together.
Yeah,
You hit
no doubt.
301 at Bradley, right? You had an amazing freshman year.
Yeah,
What was the hardest adjustment though, right? Early on, right? Obviously, you didn't start the season as the starter, right? You and I were talking early
yeah,
on in the season. You kind of had to work for that. So
yeah,
what
for
was
sure.
what was the adjustment like, right? I was talking to AJ Garcia. I talked to a bunch of other guys who Noble Meyer, another dude. He was in high school, he was the guy. And then he got drafted, and now he's just another dude, right? Everyone
Yeah.
that you played with is was known as the guy. So what was
Hmm.
that adjustment like of being like, I'm not just the superstar now. I'm kind of got to work with these guys.
Yeah, no, no, for sure. So like me coming in my freshman year at Bradley, I was with a lot of older guys in the infield. There was just me and another freshman that were the two new guys. But other than that, it was a lot of older guys, transfer guys, like fifth year guys like that. So I was like, why would I like be an enemy with this guy when he's been in college baseball for so long? He could teach me so much I need to know about the sport, especially the level we're at now. And that's kind of what I did. Like I just tried to learn from Nick Fleckenstein's his name. Just try to learn from Fleck and do whatever I can to help me, but not only him, because like, yeah, he's older, but he saw some good things in me, and I saw some good things in him. So like, we would just chew each other's brains out and like basically pick apart brains. Whatever works for him, I might try. Whatever works for me, he might try. I think I ended up helping both of us out because he also did some good things for us last year too. It wasn't just me at shortstop. He played defensively great there, and I think a few games I played second, he played short, so we both got to play at the same time, which was really cool too. So yeah,
Totally. Yeah. And I think he's also pretty sure he's trying to do stuff with the Savannah
yeah,
Bananas
he's
too,
still doing
right?
the banana ball. Yeah, shout out Fleck. He's still kicking it. He's still playing balls, trying to make a little money from it, which as he should. I mean, he's got a talent, so if you got it, go for it. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah,
Totally. And right, we talked about one school in Alabama in Auburn that you played at this year.
yeah,
Last year, obviously, you started your season at Bradley in Alabama and you had
yeah,
your first career game. You went 2 for 3. What do you remember specifically from that day, right? I mean, it was your first, you're in an
yeah.
SEC school on
No,
the road
yeah.
and you go 2 for 3. What was that kind of like?
I remember like the older guys on our team saying how we were so spoiled for that being our first college game ever, and I believe it. Like we truly like to start out that way. It's awesome. And then from what I remember from the game, I remember the two hits, the one little infield single. I'll take that. Always take those poop dollar hits when you get them. You know what I mean? But and then I hit another good ball in the gap. So, but I don't really remember any of the hitting. I just remember defensively, man, every ball hit to me was 100 plus off the bat, just off my glove. I'm like, damn, it's different, bro. The speed of the game is it's real, and it took me a little bit to adjust to it, but once I finally did, it felt like a normal ground ball after a little bit. Once you start getting more of them, obviously. And
Totally, totally. And then
yeah,
obviously, right at Bradley, you and I had a class together that second semester. I remember we would
yeah,
sit next to each other, and I would show you when you would come up on wheels. I would be watching baseball highlights. I'd be like,
yeah.
"Whoa!" You're
Yeah,
on this.
dude,
Um,
I remember the wheels. We were only on wheels a few times. One of the games I don't want to talk about. Don't want to mention that game. Try to forget about it. But yeah, other than that, I always remember being in class, you showing me highlights. I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Respect that.
totally.
Respect that.
So,
So yeah.
obviously, right. Bradley got rid of most. I mean, it's. I think if I counted correctly, 28 new guys, like completely new staff. Is there
Yeah.
anyone from that team last year, anyone from that staff last year that you still keep in touch with and that you kind of go to for advice when you need it?
Yeah, dude. No, that team, I have nothing but great things to say about that team. That team was awesome. I try to keep in touch with all the guys I had close relationships with. Even a few guys are still there, like Ashton Horstrom. I still keep in touch with him. Jackson Horace, I still try to talk to him. But some of the other guys that transferred out that I like still talk to consistently would be Bo Durbin, my second baseman last year. You know, me and him
He's
had a
doing
lot of fun.
he's
Yeah,
he's raking at
he's
Lamar.
he's doing his thing at Lamar as he should. I mean, he's a great hitter. So yeah, I keep in touch with Bo. Um, Yeah, but basically everyone, CJ, my old roommate, Dom, you remember Dom, is another freshman. He's playing D2 ball in Missouri right now. So I try to keep in touch with everyone. That's the one thing about baseball you learn. There's a whole bunch of connections with it, and I feel like if they haven't done anything wrong to me, I'm going to keep in touch with them. You know what I mean? So
Totally.
yeah,
Totally. And then obviously, right, we're here now because you're at Cincinnati. You transferred. What went into that decision, that hard decision, right? Because obviously
yeah,
you had a great time at Bradley, right? Even though you people will look at the record and be like, "Oh, you guys didn't win that much." If you
we were
watch the
hot at the
games,
end, bro. We were
exactly,
hot. We were hot.
exactly.
So
If you
yeah,
watch the games, the last really second half of the season, you guys played like a really good team.
we were
So
a completely different team. Yeah, agreed.
exactly, what was that decision, that hard decision like, where you're like, I'm gonna have to probably transfer if I want to better my baseball career.
Yeah, so I realized I was going to the portal after kind of like Coach D retired. I kind of figured I'd be going in the portal, but like I gave it like a week to see what the department would do with the new coach, and obviously they went in the direction they did. No shame in that. So I think most of the guys entered the portal after that, and the portal experience. It was I wouldn't say I didn't like it, but I didn't love it. I was playing summer ball, and all I wanted to do was just worry about was playing summer ball. And then I had to worry about like where I was going to school next year. I was like, man, I just want to get this over with. So then a few schools reached out. ISU, one of them, I was really thinking about going to ISU. And then when Cincy reached out, they were still playing in the tournament. So I was like, this is the coolest thing ever, man. They're still playing. They're still looking for a guy next year. I'm like, this is awesome. If they give me a good offer or whatever, I'm probably gonna take it. And ended up giving me a good offer, so I took it, and I was like, finally out of the portal, let's just go play summer ball and have fun now. So yeah,
Totally.
and their coaching the coaching staff here is kind of the same way. They're like, go ball out in summer, and then we'll see you in the fall. And
Yeah,
yeah,
what was the coaching staff kind of telling you coming into to the season last year, right? Last year, from what I heard, from what you told me, last year you weren't given a starting spot or anything. You had to earn it. So
yeah,
what were they kind of telling you here that at Cincinnati, right? You transfer in, you're the new guy, um,
yeah,
and a new program, new state, right? What was
yeah.
that kind of like? What were the coaches
So
telling you?
they told me they think I would fit their style of baseball really well, and they're looking for one outfielder in the portal and one infielder and then a whole bunch of pitchers because you know how the pitchers
Pitching.
nowadays, you know what I mean, you gotta find arms anywhere you can get them. So yeah, they were just looking for a few guys position wise out of the portal, and I was like, if you guys think I'm one of the best shortstops in the class for the transfer portal, I believe you guys. I'm coming. I'm loving it. And then coming here, you realize that everyone here can play, man. Like you got to bring your stuff every day because if not, there's a guy behind you or next to you that's just gonna
Mhm.
play his game and plays it pretty good. So that level of competition kind of raises your bar a little bit, like you know what I mean. So you expect the best out of yourself every single day, and that's what it is here. The best every single day, I think. Yeah,
Totally. And then
yeah,
to kind of build off of that, what is obviously it's early in the season at Cincinnati, but what is a Big 12 place or even just a place in general? I mean, you guys, you're non-conference, you played at Auburn. I mean, that's
yeah.
awesome.
That's
What
sick.
what
It
has
was
been
awesome.
either a place that you've played at or that you're looking forward to play at that that's like, I mean, that was one of the best experiences you ever had.
Yeah. So I'm Auburn was probably in my career so far is the best spot I've played at. The atmosphere there was fire, dude. Even their speakers were insane, man. Like it was full blast from center field to the home plate. You could hear it from both angles, man. It was awesome.
Mhm.
And Alabama wasn't bad too. I mean, it's a little different when you're going into an SEC being another Power Four conference, how
Yeah,
like you get treated and stuff, but still pretty close to similar environments, I would say. I mean,
totally.
obviously we got the better end of it this year at Cincinnati, but I mean, going into the game, you were still just as nervous. Your heart was racing just as fast. So yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
yeah,
and then to kind of build, right, talk about your plate, right? Obviously, there's a reason why you're playing power forward. You're getting on base a lot, especially
yeah.
early on this season. You're getting on base at a pretty high clip. What's your approach right now that is kind of making everything work for you at the plate?
You know, the like I said before, how since he said my style of ball fits their style of ball really well, and is yeah, that's nothing but the truth, man. I mean, they have a lot of stuff on the bases that help me a lot, getting me lots more stolen bases. So like just me getting on first base, I don't even have to hit a ball to get on first base, and I realize that I've been getting pretty good at getting hit by pitches. I know people are gonna say that's not a skill, but it is a skill. Trust me, Coach B learned or taught me that it was a skill, and I think I learned it pretty well. And there's also just approach wise, I feel like I'm more dialed in my approach. Have a clear head every pitch, and if the pitcher does make a mistake, be ready to punish it, but like let him throw you strikes. So that's kind of what I've
Totally.
been doing.
And I think
Yeah.
I don't know if I reached out, but I think it was your first game with Cincinnati. You got hit with was it four or three pitches?
Three hit by pitches. And man, because I before the season, I kind of had like a messed up hammy a little bit,
Mm.
and they hit me in the hammy once. I'm like,
Oh,
damn, man. And then I was like, it's fine. Three hit by pitches in one game, whatever. I mean, I'll be good. And then it seems every game I'm just getting hit. And I'm just like, what's going on here, dude? And they're just, I mean, I'm gonna take first base every time, but
exactly.
I wish I could just take four balls instead of taking a ball to the hip or something like that. You know
Totally.
what I mean?
Totally. There'll be peace getting up there. What would
And
you say?
try not to look at that stuff, but it's hard not to notice when it's that good sometimes, you know what I
Oh
mean? But
yeah, no.
yeah.
What would you say, right? Obviously, being a successful hitter, you have to have a good two-strike approach, right? For me, it was
Yeah.
always raise my hands, get on the white line of the batter's box. What is something that you do that obviously you've been able to become so successful at in your two-strike approach?
Yeah, I to be honest, I get more aggressive to be honest. I don't try to change much with my swing because I've been swinging the same way. Why switch it with a count? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's got me here, might as well get me here with two strikes, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
try not to make that much of a difference. But yeah, I just get more aggressive because I don't want to ever strike out looking, especially play with my skill set. Like if I get the ball on the ground, I got a chance. I
Mhm.
mean, might not get it every time, but at least have a chance. So striking out looking is a big thing I want to limit on this year. And yeah, I mean, strikeouts are still going to happen part of the game, but if I could just give myself a chance on the ground or something like that, yeah, give me something. Yeah.
Totally. And obviously, you've been aggressive on the bases. This year, you had your 6 for 6 in steals. Last year, you were obviously a threat on the base pass as well. So, what's kind of you talked a little bit. What's your like checklist? Would you say when you're like if there's a lefty on the mound and
Yeah.
they say go, what is your kind of go for a lefty, right? Because it's a lot harder to read a lefty than it is a righty.
No, for sure. And typically with lefties, they got either the step off move or the long lift over. And if it's a step off move, we're not too aggressive because that's kind of hard to pick up a pattern on is just a random step off, you know what I mean? So we kind of lay it back if they're a step off guy. But if they're a lift guy, with my speed, I'm looking first movement. If I see that high leg kick, I'm gone right away. Even if he does pick over, I feel like I still have a good chance to get the bag there with it. And if he goes home, same thing there. And that's what you're looking for with a lefty. And we do some things called long vaults too. So if you do that, you'll be just as fine too. So yeah.
Totally, totally. What's something, right? Obviously, not everyone is gonna go 100% on steals. What is an early base running mistake that and it could be in high school, it could be last year at Bradley, it could be early on this year. What's an early base running mistake that you've learned from that you kind of use to your advantage now?
Um, I would say there hasn't been much this year. I feel like younger in my when I was younger in my career, I'd be tend to be more aggressive, like too aggressive sometimes. So kind of learning when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive is something I've learned more, especially here. We do these things called 50-50 plays or 90-10 plays. Depending how many outs there are, you want a 50-50 play. Like if there's two outs, you're going to take the chance with the 50-50 9 out of 10 times, depending on spots in the lineup, stuff like that. But with one out, I feel like you got to be 90-10 in that area to be certain on an aggressive play. But just learning the difference between those two is something that I've really helped this year. So,
Totally, totally. And then now we'll kind of talk a little bit about the defense. You talked a little bit about it earlier in the podcast. What would you say the biggest adjustment has been defensively at the college level?
speed of the game. There's the pitch clock, everything, that they're trying to make the game faster for fans, obviously, and I feel like for players too, you want it to be a faster game. You don't want to be standing out there for 4 or 5 hours. That's brutal, bro. You
Mhm.
want to get it over with quick. So just learning that. I mean, balls are hit fast, everything like that. But if you could learn to slow it down, it's pretty similar to high school. It'll take a little bit to adjust, but it's the same thing. You're still trying to get outs. Nothing too
Totally.
much crazy there.
Totally. And then how do you, right? Not everybody's perfect. You're gonna make some mistakes in the fielding. How do you reset after an error, right? Especially no matter what level you're at,
Yeah.
an error in any time part of a game is a big time thing. So how do you kind
Yeah.
of reset and not get too in your head?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's a good question because, like again, younger in my career, I would let one error turn into three errors in a game, which is just unacceptable. Everyone's gonna make one error at least one time in their career,
Mm.
and you just want to limit that to one. You know what I mean? Don't spread the virus anymore. So yeah, just learning that, just accepting kind of like the errors. Like yeah, you just effed up, but you don't want to F up against. Do what you need to do in your head to get yourself right and help your team because. I'm never gonna get mad at another guy for making an error, so why would you get mad at yourself for making an error? That's the way I kind of look at it.
Totally. And then now we'll kind of talk about Cincinnati in the season so far. How do you feel the season has gone for you and then your team as a whole?
Yeah, I feel like it's been going good. We're hitting pretty good. We're throwing it pretty well, and those are two good things for winning baseball. And if we keep doing that, I think we'll have a pretty good year. But it's still early, so you don't want to try to jump to conclusions or too quick. Kind of like similar as last year, we had a slow start, but that doesn't mean we were a bad team. You know what I mean? So you just try to block out the game after it happened. Like, yeah, it happened. Learn from it. Go to the next one. Just take it one at a time, and that's something I think we do a good job at, to be honest. So we'll find out, but from what I've seen, I think we'll be pretty good at it.
Totally. And then what is right? You guys had a run rule win yesterday.
Yeah,
Obviously that's a good thing for you guys, but how do you
yeah,
kind of not get too confident in a sense, right? You just
yeah.
beat a team by 10 runs,
Oh,
but
I'll
now you got
I'll
to
tell
lock
you
in.
real quick about that because we had practice today, and dude, our practices are so brutal to hit sometimes. 'Cause I swear we do not have a working machine right now. It's just spinning out a whole bunch of junk, and it makes you look real stupid real fast. So I think the coaches do that on purpose a little bit after a good day. Let's humble our boys a little bit. Get that spin rolling, and yeah, it's pretty tough sometimes some days and hitting machines and stuff like that. But when you play this game a long time, you just try to just go with the flow sometimes,
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Totally, totally.
Yeah.
And then what would you say the expectations are inside the clubhouse and how dangerous do you think you and then the whole roster can the Cincinnati team be
Yeah.
this year?
We think highly of ourselves as you should. I think any team should think highly of themselves. If you're not, you're losing something there, and that's something that's part of the game is mental outside of the game, how you think of yourself, how you carry yourself. That's definitely part of the game because it translates over on the field, and you can see it with our team, you can see it with other teams too.
Mhm.
And expectations wise, I feel like we do have high expectations, but I think we could reach them if we play our ball and just continue to stack good days on good days, stuff like that.
Totally, right? And now we talked a little bit about your personality earlier, right? When you were younger and stuff in high school, and now you're in college, and you're still right, a calm, steady, laid back sort of guy.
Yeah,
How do you kind of lead now in a new program, right? It's not like you're a new freshman on campus. You're a
yeah,
sophomore. You've gained some college experience with some guys, right, that you've played with, like Enzo, someone who you
Yeah.
played high school ball with. How do you
Yeah.
be a leader at Cincinnati?
You know, I try not to do too much with it. If they have any questions, I obviously help and ask them, but I just try to treat them like a normal guy. Like, yeah, yeah, I get they're freshmen, their first year at college campus, but I try to treat them just as much as I treat the seniors the same. You know what I mean? They're teammates. They're here to help us win. So it doesn't don't care how old you are. If you're gonna help us win, you should be in the lineup, and that's the way I think. I think that's the way a lot of our guys think, and they accept that no matter the age, no matter what. If you can help us win, we're gonna like you. So, yeah,
Totally. What's one thing Cincinnati fans don't know about you yet, right? Obviously, you're new. What would
yeah.
you say is something that some Cincinnati fans wouldn't expect from
But
you?
let me think. I'm a big gamer, but I feel like some people would already know that about me. Low key, I'm huge. I just saw this. I'm huge on essential oils. Like I love
Okay,
them. I love these things. They make your room smell great. I know they're not the best for you, but like everything kills you nowadays. So like, you know what I mean? Who cares? But yeah, I love essential oils. My mom just got me a book. Uh, I won't show you guys, but she got it for my birthday, so it's pretty cool. I got like recipes to make my own scents in the room and stuff.
oh
It's pretty
yeah,
it's pretty cool. Yeah, I like it, but it's a little weird thing about me. I guess the Cincy fans don't know, or not many people know about me.
totally.
But yeah,
And then, right, obviously, your grandpa was a coach and your dad played.
yeah,
What was that kind of like growing up? And right, your dad made it to the big league, got drafted and
yeah.
stuff like
Got
that.
drafted, played in the minors for like two to 3 years, so
So
it's pretty
what was
cool.
that like having a grandpa who was an elite college coach and then having your dad who was, he did what he
Yeah,
did your goal. He's done your dream.
yeah. No, so for sure. I mean, feel like I've always looked up to my dad, my grandpa, baseball wise. I've been around them so long. Whenever I went to Tennessee to see my grandma and grandpa, we were always usually on a baseball field, and I feel like that's the way I'd want to spend it with him because we both love the game, and that's something we shared interest in. And it was always a great time playing ball with them, and I still kind of play it for them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I play for myself, but like at the end of the day, they got me into the game. I feel like I owe it to them to play as hard as I can every day because they love the game, and they're the reason why I love the game. So. I gotta give them that respect every single time I'm on the field.
Totally, totally. And
Yeah,
then, right, what is the best road environment? And this could be we talked a little bit about it that you've
yeah,
played in, or right, you're in Power Four now. You're gonna be traveling to
yeah,
ASU, right, BYU, all these
yeah,
awesome places. So, what
yeah.
is a place you're definitely looking forward to playing at this year?
So I'm looking forward to playing at BYU because I want to see the
The
mountain
mountain,
mountain
yes.
backdrop, and I'm curious to how the ball flies there. Seen
Mhm.
some videos. If you could get it to either down the lines, you'll be fine. So I want to see how that plays in person, and then I would say I'll give you my top three fields I've played at throughout my career. Last year, FAU's in there.
Mhm.
Even though it's not the like big stands, the vibes of it, palm trees in the back, first time ever being in Florida for me, so that's the reason why it's on there. It's a great surface too. I'll put that at the three spot. For number two, I'm gonna go with Alabama. And then number one, Auburn. Sorry, Bama fans. Auburn's just a little bit better of a vibe. Probably because it was bigger noise. I think we just more people were at the Auburn game. That's why I have a better perception of it, and we also won the game, so that
Mhm.
helps a little bit too. So yeah, those are my top
Totally.
three though.
Totally. And then, what would you say, right? I got two more questions for you. What would you say, is your favorite Cincinnati uniform that you got? And if, right, yesterday I interviewed AJ Garcia. He actually had the jerseys on hand because they're traveling
Okay.
today. I'm
Yeah, no,
assuming you don't, so
no,
I'll
they're
just pop
they're
up a picture of your
they're in
favorite
the
ones.
locker. So my favorite ones so far are the. Okay, I'll just give you two. We haven't wore one of them, but I like the all blacks. Those things are sweet, dude. Those are tough. The first time ever wearing an all black uniform, I didn't know how I would like it, and I love them. And then my second one's gonna be the throwbacks. You'll see those Sunday.
The
Those are our
Bearcat, like
Sunday
the
uni
Bearcat
yeah.
logo. Yeah, those are
But the
nice.
Bearcat, those are our Sunday uniforms, so you'll see those this Sunday. Those will be my first time wearing them. The only thing I'm a little curious about is they're short pants, so I don't know. I'm not a short pants guy, but we'll see how they look on Sunday. So
Mhm.
I'm
Totally.
excited for those.
And then for someone who's watching this who wants to play college baseball and who was like you, right? Maybe under recruited, right?
Yeah,
Hasn't gotten as many looks as they had. You got one look, and now you're at a Power Four school
for
hitting
sure.
in the top of the lineup. So, what was some would be some advice you would give to someone who's maybe from the Illinois area where you're from,
Yeah.
trying to grow and be a legit Division I player?
Yeah, I would. This is gonna sound like a BS answer or whatever. I would just say have fun with it, man. Like you could talk to any of my teammates. I've always been preaching just having fun on the field because at the end of the day, it's a baseball game, dude. Like it's just a game, bro. Like you don't gotta overstress it too much, and you'll see if you're good, they'll find you. You know what I mean? They might not be right away when you're looking for it, but at the end of the day, if you continually put good in good days, someone will notice and someone will appreciate that, and it feels good when someone does appreciate it. I'll be the
Totally.
first to say it sucks when people don't because you're like, am I really this good? You start like questioning yourself, but you shouldn't if you really believe it. So, and
Exactly.
when someone does, it feels awesome. And
And I think that's what makes like college sports so cool, and having so many colleges that have college baseball is you don't need to have 60 offers, right? You just need one.
no, you just
Like
need
you
one,
need
man.
one. And you
Yeah.
got one and now you capitalize on it, right?
Yeah,
And
I just had fun with it. I didn't never put too much pressure on myself with it, you know. I was just like, I'm gonna see where this can take me, and then gonna continue to see where it takes me. You know what I mean? I hope I'm not done playing ball at Cincy. I hope I could play somewhere else, and that's my goal with it. You know, just keep
exactly.
playing at every level you can. Try to get to the next one, but just enjoy the process during it. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because I hear a lot of guys that finish their career saying like, "Man, I would just kill for one more day on the field," and I don't want to think that way. I don't. When my career is over, I just want to be like, I'm done with it. I had a great time
Totally.
with it. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. You don't want to be one of those dads who was like, oh, back in my day.
Yeah, not like yeah, no, I'm not even those dads are probably right, man. Back in their day, they probably were living the life, man, and they probably do miss it, and I will miss it at one point, and we all will, man. I mean, you might miss it now. I don't know. You're still playing ball a little bit
Yeah,
with the club
still,
team.
still doing my thing with the club team and stuff,
Yeah, but
but
at the end of the
not
day,
to the extent of obviously, right?
yeah, but
It's
as
life.
yeah, yeah, as long as you can continue to physically do something, I think you should do it. And then
Exactly.
when you can't, that's when you appreciate what you've done. So, yeah.
Totally. Well, Jackson, thanks for taking time, right?
Yeah.
Obviously we had to make this work a little bit with the game getting rescheduled, moved
Yeah.
around a little bit. We made this get
No,
work.
yeah, we
Thank you
worked it out.
for taking time. Obviously, right? It was awesome to have you. This was definitely something brewing, so I'm really happy
Yeah.
that we got to set this up.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching this episode of the John Day Sports Dump, where we plunge into everything sports and flush out all the nonsense. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for sports updates and hot takes in real time. Join me next time on the John, your Day Sports Dump, where we'll cut a cigar of victory in sports news. Until then, keep game face on and stay regular. This is the John.
Don't nobody go in the bathroom for about 35, 45 minutes.